Why were you trying to contact me?
You oppose the heretics, those that took the old machines as gods.
All kinds of organics fought Sovereign and his Geth allies. Why am I so interesting?
You were the most successful. You killed their god. You succeeded where others did not. Your code is superior.
Welcome to Superior Code. I listed 10 relaxing games that I recommend to new gamers, to the Bella Grace magazine, and I got picked. It's gonna be in the Cozy issue, volume 6, but I'll talk more about that at the end, just so I don't bore people who clicked on this and are just wanting me to get to the point. So, I felt like sharing the gaming channels I love to watch and have been a fan of for a very long time. They really help when I'm just in a gaming slump and don't feel like playing games myself, or I just don't have the money to buy a new game and I want to experience it for the first time with them, or just feel like instead of replaying a game and spending like 30 to 60 hours replaying something, I could just watch someone else play it and it goes a bit faster, and I get to kind of relive that feeling of when I replayed it and get to live it through their eyes and seeing their first time reactions with their blind playthroughs. So that's always fun. And I want to share these content creators because a large part of the gaming community is still sadly very toxic and feels like a boys club, and I want to really spread these channels out for people to find and not lose hope in the gaming community, that there's still like welcoming communities out there, and these list of gamers have very welcoming and friendly communities. Like you don't have to fear when you read their comment section. So that makes me really excited to think about that this episode will help people find these creators and become a new fan, even if you're just a fan of them for just one of their playthroughs. My favorite type of gaming channels are the ones where they don't talk over dialogue, and at least don't talk over it too much, because I want them to be very interested in the game that they're playing. I want them to seem like they are having fun and they're not just playing the game for views. I want them to actually enjoy and be interested in the game that they're playing. And one of the green flags is if they're not talking over dialogue. So I like that is a dead giveaway when, yes, they're putting it up for content, but they're enjoying their job. So I really need that to be it. And I need them to have a nice comment section. Like, I know most times it's not the creator's fault if they have a lot of comments that are backseat gaming or very angry and aggressive and bossy and are bashing or making fun of them for not being good at the game or making unpopular gaming choices. But I wish that more people would moderate their comments and don't let it be a free-for-all, because it's one of the things that makes me want to leave the community. Because if the comments aren't fun to look at and engage with, that's part of the big reason why I stay, you know? And I would rather them disable the comments and me not be able to engage at all, but I also don't get stressed from seeing angry gamers being angry at the free content they're getting. So I would rather it be disabled comments than for it to be a free-for-all. And obviously the rest that qualifies to what I love in a gaming channel is like common sense stuff. I just want them to be friendly, open-minded, and welcoming. So here are the game channels I love and I really recommend. The first one is Trisha Hirschberger, and she is the first one for a reason. She is my ideal of a good gaming channel or good gaming content creator, because she doesn't talk over dialogue and she reads all the notes or codexes that she gets because she really wants to learn about the gaming world, the world in the game. Her playthrough of Control was incredible. She made that game so interesting than when I was watching a no commentary playthrough of it. I think I got like an hour's worth of watch with the no commentary, and I just gave up because it was just too boring. And in that playthrough, they would just have like the notes they would find, they would keep it up for like 2 seconds and then close it out. And I like to sit back and watch and not have to move. So if I have to move to pause and read, it's no. Like, it must not be that important. So I just didn't care to go back and try to pause and read it. But with Trisha, she read it and it made the game so much more interesting. Like, the notes make the game. Like, it helps you understand that world better. It's necessary in Control for you to read everything you pick up. So I'm so glad I checked it out with her. And then later was able to play the game myself and see everything that she missed. But still, it was an incredible experience. And sadly, that playthrough is gone forever because she played it on Twitch, and on Twitch, videos don't last forever. But now, this year, she started a YouTube channel where she puts all of her Twitch streams on, so it's like a big archive. I wish she had done that sooner, because I also loved her Gone Home playthrough and her Disco Elysium playthrough, but they're gone. But yeah, I really recommend checking her out. I'll link her archive channel and her main channel, which is not exactly a gaming channel. She just posts highlights on there, but she did post her Doki Doki Literature Club playthrough and the Quarry playthrough, like all of it on there, not just the highlights. So I'll post a link to that as well. I really recommend her. She is family friendly, even more so now that she has a son, because she doesn't want her son to hear her screaming profanity. She was always family friendly before she was a mother, but she's even more so now. Like, she would only curse really when the game pissed her off, or if she was playing a horror game and it really scared her and make her yell. But other than that, yeah, she's a very like friendly person. So and another big thing why I really, really love her is she loves RPGs. So she will put her foot down and give herself limits to, if she makes a choice in the game, even if the outcome is bad, she'll live with that save file. She refuses to reload the game. If the game can continue, she's going to continue on that playthrough, and she'll live with her punishment. She'll live with her mistakes. Which is really, really cool to see, because it's like, like, she doesn't like cheating, even though it's not cheating, but, everyone has a different definition of that when they're playing the games themselves. But she really hates going back and trying to re-roll or something. So that's another big reason to stick with her. And one of the main things I love when she was putting her foot down, when the chat was trying to get her to reload, was during Cyberpunk. She did a choice in the game where she accepted money from someone, and by doing that, she locked herself out of a romance to a certain character, but she could still continue the game. It wasn't like a game over or whatever. She could still continue the game, therefore she stuck with it. She's like, I like the way that outcome was, and if that character's gonna get pissed off at me, then so be it. They're not good enough to be my friend. And I love that. I love that she really sticks to her own rules and role plays that hardly to that, because other people were like, oh, you're gonna miss out on such like an underwater level, and she's like, if I miss out, then that's the game's fault, because that's just bad storytelling by that sense, if I'm missing out on something because of a choice that I like better. And I kind of agree with her. Like, I feel like if you choose to do something that pisses off a character and it locks you out a whole other story, to it, it should at least unlock another story to it. So the character she pissed off, okay, she can't be friends with them. Their story is locked. But how about the character that she accepted money from? That character could have, like, this twisted friendship that's based on money. Like, there should have been, like, an extra little mission so you could get to know that character that you accepted money from. So I totally agree with her on that. Either way, I really recommend her if you want to see that type of gamer where they limit themselves. Next is A Girl in a Game, all one word. And I found her about a year ago, but she instantly became one of my favorites to be put in the second spot of my favorite ones. I really, really love that she role plays her character in the games a lot, because it is rare. So many other people would just talk to their chat or talk to the camera, and that's it. They will barely act like they're role playing the character, which is fine, but I prefer when they do role play, because that's another green flag to show that they're invested in the game and they love the world and they're interested in it, and it's not just for views. And I found her through the Mass Effect playthrough when she was playing that, and I really love that she liked Ashley's character in her first playthrough. I love that she gave Ashley a chance to show her character growth, and yeah, that just really stuck out to me as someone who's open-minded to give people a second chance. There's been many times too in other games where she didn't like a character, and then she'll start to like put herself in their shoes and stuff, and it's really, really sweet, because I don't see a lot of other people doing that. But anyways, the playthroughs I recommend from her that really made me become a fan of her is Ghost of Tsushima, the Mafia remake version, and any horror games. And I'm currently watching her play through Assassin's Creed, because I never played those games and I want to get into the fandom of it, and I know they have some novels and it would be cool to get into them. But yeah. I also love that she edits her face cam anytime she's having like a big reaction to what's happening in the game. Either she does something stupid or silly, or a character does something stupid or silly, or like she really gets scared, or she's feeling the tension. She will edit her face cam, like it zooming in or zooming out or rolling around the screen with silly music and stuff. I think it's very creative, and I don't see all the other gaming channels doing that. Like, the only time they'll actually mess around and edit that heavy is if it's a highlight. But hers aren't highlights. Like, she'll edit that in a full playthrough, so I really enjoy that and appreciate the work she does. The next one is Our Chest Breach, all one word, and don't worry, I'll be linking everything if they're hard to spell. But I have been a fan of him for the longest. Like, he is the reason I started a Twitter account. It's because he was posting a lot on there, and he's the first one I followed on Twitter. One of the first gaming channels I've ever followed, too. And I found him when I got the Fallout New Vegas for PC, and I was looking for some fun mods to add into my game. And Al is like really funny. Like, he role plays as his character just like a girl in a game, but he does it so much more, so heavenly, because sometimes in a girl in a game she'll have some playthroughs where she's live and she's talking to the chat, and then there's some playthroughs where she's not live and she's just recording and it's just her and the camera. But with Al, it's always been him and the camera. So he's very used to where the beginning he'll introduce himself and welcome people to the video, but then he'll just start getting into acting like his character and talking to his video game companions, and it's really, really entertaining and fun to like be dove into his world. And I will say, if you don't care about the Fallout games, you probably won't enjoy his channel. But I do recommend the Black Mesa Source playthrough because it's really funny, and I'll link where to start too, because the intro is just him talking to you, and then I'll link it to where it starts right when he gets into character, so you don't have to listen to the whole 8 minutes, and it just, after that 8 minutes he gets right into character. It's one of my favorite playthroughs he's ever done. Me and my husband love the Black Mesa Source playthrough. It's very funny. And Al has been interviewed a few times, and when asked what made him start a channel, he said he would roleplay out loud anyways when he was alone, and he knew it was funny, so he just thought, why not share these moments and see if anyone else finds it funny, and it was. So that's another good sign, is that he's not acting like when he's not acting like a different person on camera. That's him. Like, he's the same on or off. So I really, and you could, if you watch enough videos, you can feel that he's himself for sure. He has played other games, but it's rare now. I think like 4 or 5 years ago, he used to play like indie games every Sunday, and like Monday he would play other AAA games. But now he's just been focusing on Fallout mods, like for Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas. And he's still funny, but it's gonna be a hard sell for people who don't care about Fallout games. And I think this is just a channel that's for me and my husband. This is nostalgia for us, where it's like, even though I don't care to play Fallout anymore, I'm still gonna watch his videos and have him on because he's so funny in them, and it's enough to work. Like, I don't care about the mods at all, but because I know the Fallout world and story so much, I can still relate to what's happening and everything, and I could still see what's different that the mod adds, and it's kind of cool to see him having fun and playing it. So yeah, all I can say is check out the Black Mesa Source playthrough. That was like 11 years ago, but that is still like his type of his sense of humor and his silly humor. And to get a sense if you're even like checking him out on his other playthroughs, I see that he started a Starfield playthrough, but I think until I want to do one more playthrough before I check his out. I just like to experience every little thing before anyone else spoils it for me, so I'm worried he might pick a choice in the game that I haven't experienced yet, so I want to play all the choices before I click on his video. So there's that. If you're interested in Starfield, check out Out Chest Breach. Next is Blue Lizard Jello. This is another one that I have been following for like 9 years apparently, because I'm looking at the playlist, and the video that I first found him was Everything Possible Before a Boss. And I was stuck on a boss in Dark Souls 2, and I wanted to look up everything I can do before I have to fight this thing, because I wanted to be prepared. And I just seen his video titled perfectly to what I was looking for. So, and reading the comments, it led him to make the series Everything Possible in whatever game he's playing. Usually the Dark Souls games. But it's for people who want to find and know where every item is in the game. He is another person who reads everything he picks up. It's so cool finding people who want to learn about the game's world so much that they collect and read everything. It's very cool to find these people. And it's just so refreshing to like watch people who are good at the game. Like, he's very, very good at the game, very skillful. I'm just okay at games, and a lot of the other people that I've listed here are very casual as well. So it's very satisfying seeing him beat certain enemies and bosses that I struggled on and other gamers have struggled on. Even though he says he's not that good whenever he like makes a mistake, but like everyone wishes they had his skills. So his mistakes are rare to him, but they're like common for us. But anyways, this is another one where me and my husband love his videos. We watch them. And he's family friendly like Trisha, but even more so because he'll make sure he doesn't slip. And he rarely streams. He mostly records, while Trisha always streams, so it makes more sense that she would slip more and can't edit stuff out when she gets frustrated with the game. Versus him, if he ever slipped, he could just not put that in the video. So he says he knows that there's people who watch him with their kids, so he's very like, he wants to stay as a family friendly channel. And he has a very calm voice too, so it's nice to just have his videos on while you're cleaning or something. And sometimes my husband would just have his videos on when he just wants to sleep because he doesn't like sleeping in total silence. Next is Daniel Finner. I found him on Twitch through another streamer, and seeing that he was friends with her, I'll talk about her later because she's also on my list, it made me know that he was safe, that he wasn't a toxic male gamer. He was one of the good ones, and he's an Overwatch streamer, and I used to watch him play Overwatch a lot. Back when he was a Symmetra main, or like he played damage more, but ever since he became a healer main, I got bored and stopped watching. I still follow him, just waiting for the days he'll play a different game that isn't Overwatch. But for the few times, he'll play like a different game, like 2 times a year, and he'll post it on YouTube. And those are the playthroughs I'm recommending you check out. I loved his A Plague Tale playthrough because when I first watched that game, it was a no commentary, and I watched until the end, and I hated it. I didn't like it. I thought the story was cheesy, the characters are cheesy and just weren't interesting. But when I watched him play it, it was a total different experience. Just seeing how much he was enjoying the game and how much he was like so invested in everything. Like the game was too dramatic for me, but it wasn't for him. Like he loved it. And watching him love it made me like the game and made me rethink if maybe I was too harsh on the game. I wasn't. But the fact that he made me rethink that, that's a really good content creator. That's a good, like, you don't have to be a comedian or very, very funny and do stand-up to be entertaining. Like, you just have to be yourself and be obsessed with the game and show that you love games. That's all you have to do. Like, it really shows when you just post a game because you want to hurry and get views on it because it's the newest game that just came out. So I really like that he will select his games on what he's actually interested in, and it shows that he's interested in it. It really does. So I really recommend that playthrough, and I recommend his Undertale playthrough. It's another game I couldn't get into, but watching him play, I loved it. And any games where he's playing a horror game. And I loved his Dead by Daylight playthrough. Like, Dead by Daylight could get boring really fast when the person playing it isn't scared. But he was always constantly scared. He didn't play it long enough to get used to the killers. So it was very funny. And any of the games where he wasn't that scared, he still felt the tension whenever he got inside a trap or got downed or anything like that. It was really funny. So I recommend watching those playthroughs. Next is Nikki and Steven. I mainly watch them for their TV show and movie reactions. They aren't big gamers, but that does add to the fun of their reactions to games because they're not that good at them. But it's very fun because they're like, whenever they panic, they're not good at like hurrying and defeating the enemy or whatever. So if you're in the mood to watch someone stumble in a game, I really recommend them. I really recommend their Last of Us playthrough and seeing them realize that this game's story and dialogue and voice acting is on a different level of other games that they remember, and that video games have way better voice acting nowadays than they used to, and they could be just as good of a show, of a story like the shows that they watch. So it's very fun watching anyone play The Last of Us for the first time. And Daniel Finner also has a playthrough where when he finishes, he's like, damn, that is the best video game I have ever played. And they say the exact same thing at the end of their playthrough of the first game. So I really, really love, it's a big treat for me to see people who mainly play multiplayer games or aren't big gamers play The Last of Us and just witness the masterpiece that it is. It's so good. And so satisfying to see that look on their faces when they're witnessing the story, and like how hard the voice actors are working to get the emotion from the characters to the players. And Nikki and Steven used to stream on Twitch a lot until like Twitch showed that they don't give a damn about its small time creators, and they have a video explaining all of that, so they switched to YouTube, and it's so much better because the videos are saved forever, and I think that's even one of the reasons he stated that why they're coming to YouTube instead. But if you go on their Twitch channel, Sticker G, you could still find not all of it, but a lot of their videos that are still saved as highlights. Because I recommend watching any horror games that they play because Nikki gets scared easily. So I really, really recommend you checking out their main channel where they watch shows and movies, and checking out how she reacts towards horror movies. It's so funny. Also, I should add that like after Blue Lizard Jello, the rest are in no particular order. Like the first four are my absolute favorite gaming channels, but the rest, it was too hard to rank them and be picky like that because I like them all for different reasons based on my mood of the day. So there are days where it's like I just don't feel like listening to someone play a cozy game, or I just don't feel like someone playing a horror game right now. So the rest are like, I love the fifth person as much as the ninth person. So next is Cozy K. She doesn't do a lot of full playthroughs. I think she only has like 2 of them. And so she just starts it off, and then just to let you see if you want to buy the game or not, and then she just finishes it on her own time, which I respect that. I really, really love when some people will just experience a game alone and uninterrupted with no one else's 2 cents to kind of persuade them in one way or the other of the story, and they could just have their own opinions about something. But she does have a long series of Stardew Valley if you're interested in having something chill on in the background, and just check up on how she's upgrading her farm, because it's really cute and relaxing. But like I said, if you're not in the mood, that gameplay can seem very boring. So it's very much like if you like having ambiance or ASMR type videos on, then I really do recommend checking out her channel. She does a lot of blogs as well, but as far as full playthroughs, not much. So the only long ones has been Stardew Valley. Next is Cupcake with 2 P's and 2 A's. So she is the one that helped me find Daniel Finner when they would like team up on Overwatch and play together. It was really fun because watching her play by herself was so stressful because she would get harassment from male gamers once they heard that she's a woman, and they kind of left her alone more, seeing her teamed up with a male player. But she started a YouTube channel earlier this year, I think, or late last year, and she started playing cozy games, and it fits her brand so much. Like, I don't know why she didn't start this sooner. It just fits her so well. Like, her whole theme is like purple, and like the tone of her room and stuff just looks so like lo-fi, chill, and peaceful. So it just really fits that she's starting to play these cozy games. And I really recommend her Beacon Pines playthrough. It was so cute and so fun. She finishes it in one setting. I'll link that one. And yeah, I have nothing else to say about it other than she does stream almost every day if you want to check her out on Twitch. But I recommend her YouTube channel where she plays cozy games. Sleeping Bear, or now that he's rebranded to Burr, like Burr, because it's like short for bear, and that was like his nickname for a while from people. His channel is so organized. Like, you can find a playlist so easily on there. He's just a really kind person, and I found him through Daniel Finner, and he's also friends with Cupcake. And I've always seen him play with Daniel. They would play together on Overwatch, and they were in top 500 together, so it's always nice to see cool people in the top 500 community in Overwatch. But I am so happy that Sleeping Bear stopped playing Overwatch and started playing single-player games, and I'm hoping that Finner does the same thing someday. I'm just so sick and tired of hearing toxic comments in their games. Like, it's not their fault. Like, they do their best to stay positive, and when I say they, I mean all streamers. Like, they do their best to stay positive and mute the person and report and block them, but after hearing them say the N-word or some other stupid crap, the damage is already done, and I don't feel like watching no more. So it's not their fault, but it is how it is. So I'm just sick of online gaming content, and I'm more for single player. Like, I wish if they did play online that they just stay out of voice chat. But I know that's not a good way to play because you can't communicate with your team. So you're at the risk of someone saying something stupid because they know that they're live and they're on a throwaway account. So it's just very annoying how the toxic part of the gaming community has ruined multiplayer games. But anyways, I recommend Sleeping Bear and his Dead Space playthrough and his Cyberpunk playthrough. Like, he loves that game so much, and it was so fun to see him enjoy it. Next is Megmage. I found her through like a recommendation, one of the recommendation videos from watching A Girl in a Game, and they know each other. I guess they follow each other because I've heard A Girl in a Game reference Megmage a lot. But I loved Megmage's Mass Effect playthrough, but more so her Mass Effect Andromeda playthrough. I loved that she did all the side missions she came across, and she did all the loyalty missions. She did not rush through the game, which is not the same I could say for someone else that I won't name. But, because you could tell that the toxic part of the Mass Effect community got to the person I'm not gonna name, and they just was like, oh, okay, I guess this game isn't that good, and I'm just gonna hurry and finish it now. And they didn't even finish the loyalty missions. It was so disappointing that they got convinced. While Megmage totally loved the fucking game. Like, she loved it, and she couldn't believe the hate that this game got. I loved that she played this game without a live chat in front of her. Like, because most of her other playthroughs, she'll play it while streaming, and she'll just edit it to where it's like a playthrough, like all the other YouTube channels. But this one was different, where she just played alone. It was just her and the camera. And it was for the reason that she knew a lot of people don't like this game, but she wanted to experience it anyways, and I loved that she did. I love that she ended up really loving this game. I love that she didn't let the toxic and aggressive parts of the Mass Effect community bully her into not checking out Andromeda. And I also love that it wasn't a live chat, because every time she or any other gaming channel plays with the live chat, I get so nervous that someone will spoil the game for them. Like, I hate when they try to tell the player what choices to make for the best outcome, for the best ending, and I don't want that. I want to see what choices the content creator is gonna make themselves, like, without the help of the community, because we didn't have help when we first played the game. Let them have an organic first playthrough instead of having an automatic walkthrough of a game. Like, I don't like that. So I love how Meg Mage has like a safe word to where sometimes she'll ask a question, but it's rhetorical. Where it's like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do here. But she doesn't actually want help. So she came up with a safe word, and she's like, if I say pineapple, that means I'm actually asking and I want help. So that, like, if she's stuck on a puzzle or something, or she's scared she might be locked out on a romance, something like that, she'll say, okay, pineapple, tell me this. But any other time, if I don't say pineapple, I'm just having a reaction to the game. I don't actually want your help. So I think that's very smart, and I think other channels should do that as well when they're live streaming. It's so infuriating where people just want to make sure every gaming channel has the same playthrough over and over again, to make sure every gamer gets the happy ending all the time. That's so frustrating. Like, don't you want to see their reaction when they get a cool evil ending or a cool sad ending? They could just look up the happy ending later online and just be like, oh yeah, that was nice. That would be a cool ending. So I don't see the damage of them enjoying a game and then getting an outcome of a character dying. It's like, that's the punishment of not paying attention to the game. So when I watch Mass Effect playthroughs, the second game, and no one dies in the suicide mission, it's so obvious that their live chat helped them out, or the comments helped them out to make sure that they upgraded their ship fully, or that they picked the good characters to go with each job, that they don't die. I will say that the Legendary Edition made it more forgiving with the suicide mission, but with the upgrading the ship parts, there was a lot of people who aren't completionists that for some reason decided to complete that. So it's so obvious that the chat helped them out, and that's infuriating. That's very frustrating, because I feel like gamers should be punished for not paying attention. They should be punished for not making sure their ship is fully upgraded. That's gonna be their fault. And there's so many instances where the in-game characters would give the players clues of like, make sure you're ready, make sure that there's still some stuff that could be worked on with the ship and stuff. So if they don't get it by then, I feel like they don't deserve the help of the chat. But the chat disagrees. The chat just loves to baby everyone. I'm just stop ranting, but it's just a very big pet peeve, and why I hate when people live stream, because they don't have to pay attention that much and they're just gonna get babied, whether they want to or not. But I also recommend Meg Mage's playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077 and Dragon Age. Those are really fun to see her play through. And especially the Dragon Age, she gets really invested in the characters that she makes, and I love how she creates them and the names that she gives them. It's very cute. Next is Blind Wave, and they're another reaction channel that reacts to shows and movies, and they have a gaming channel on a separate one, not on their main one. And it's so... I love Eric's playthrough of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, because he is the only one I've seen that understands Kaidan's character, Kaidan's anger in the second game. Like, that was shocking and so refreshing. I loved that so much. So I'll link that playlist in the description. Next is Descartes Games. It's a married couple, and they're both voice actors in the gaming world. And they are the exception to my rule about talking over dialogue. Because I love their reactions so much. They're very funny and silly people, and if they play games with no voice acting, and they'll just be like text, they'll do the voices themselves, and it's really fun to watch them do that. They just seem like such pros. So you have to go into their videos with the mindset of you don't care that they're completionist, and it's kind of like when you're watching a movie with a group of people and everyone's talking over the movie, kind of paying attention to it. That's kind of the feel of these. They have gotten better with, like, not talking over dialogue, because I guess people have complained, which is a blessing for me, but also I could have lived without that, you know? I could have lived without them getting angry comments like that. Like, just let them be themselves. If you don't like something, don't watch. Like, if I really was annoyed, I would just stop being a fan of them. Like, you don't have to change someone's style of gaming if it doesn't fit you. Just go somewhere else. But anyways, it's not a channel I'd recommend for you to experience a game for the first time alongside with them. I only recommend this channel if you want to see them play games you have already played, and you just want to see them react to it and react to shocking points, key points in the story. And I recommend their Portal 2 gameplay. Like, that was really fun, because Portal 2 is such a funny game. And I loved their reaction to the story and everything. You will have to skip when they're trying to figure out puzzles, because that takes a long time. So, but other than that, I love them so much. They're very fun people. Next is no commentary channels. So I don't really have a favorite, because I'm not subscribed to any of them. I just randomly look for a game I feel like experiencing with no talking at all, and I just search no commentary, and then I also search for like hardcore mode or completionist, because those are key words to finding someone who already knows what they're doing. Someone who's an expert at the game and is going to show you key moments of the story and everything, versus someone who's new to the game and a cool moment is happening, but they don't know that, and their camera is pointed down at the ground or something, looking at their weapon, and they're missing something that's in the sky or something. So I want to make sure that if I'm watching a no commentary, that I'm watching someone who's played the game more than once. And I don't care if they have lots of views or less than 100. I will only click on ones that say hardcore mode or completionist or collectibles or whatever, like one or the other. I would no longer click on no commentary, and then that's it. Because there's a difference between it being a walkthrough and it being a blind playthrough. And it's not fun watching someone be stuck on a part for so long and not have commentary. Like, I don't understand why they don't just edit that part out, but that's where they get lazy. And walkthrough isn't a walkthrough if it's a blind playthrough. So I don't trust the word walkthrough, because it probably isn't. and it's just there to get views. So I think my tip is intentionally look for ones with not that many views. And last is the Let's Play channel or Achievement Hunter. They're kind of one and the same because they're both Rooster Teeth. But I love any game they play where it's a horror game or they play Among Us. I love their Among Us videos so much. It's always so funny. Like, I don't care who wins. I don't care how they win. I don't care if they cheat to win. I just want to see who will make me laugh the most, and that's the person that wins the video for me. Like, I love those guys. So that's it. Those are the ones I wanted to share. I have some others that might be on my favorites list later, but I haven't gotten around to checking them out. I just seen a highlight of them that seem like they're really cool people and funny people on TikTok, but I haven't checked out a full video of them yet, so I'll get around to that when I have time. So yeah, I hope you find one of these channels to your liking and you really enjoy them as much as I do. And in like my search of playthroughs where they weren't perfect, as in all the best and happy outcomes, and because that's easy to find, and then also like the opposite where it's like all of the worst outcomes and the worst ending, worst as in the bad, saddest ending, not worst as in badly written. That's easy to find, but like a mixed and matched one, those playthroughs are hard to find, and those are the more realistic ones that I like. So I made a gaming channel with no commentary where it intentionally has the main character win some battles and loses some battles, and when they finally win the war or whatever, like the main quest, they barely won. So it's not like a slam dunk or anything. So those are my favorites. So I'll link that if anyone's interested. So the way I edited my playthroughs of games was like if you're watching episodes of a TV show, and I had myself as the audience, like what I would have liked to see from other no commentary channels. So I cut out anything that seemed like dead air. So I cut out me running around from point A to point B. Unless I was showing off the world and the beauty of it, I cut it out. Or if something interesting happens along the way, I cut it out. So I also cut out long combat scenes unless the combat looked really cool. And most of the times they don't. They're just fun for the player but not the watcher. I cut it out. And I wish more creators edited out long combat scenes because they're very, very boring to watch. Like, the big reason I don't watch live streams until they're offline, and I'll watch the VOD that way, I like being able to skip and pause anytime I want. I also cut out any upgrades I'm doing. Looking at a menu, cut it out. I cut out loading screens. I want to make sure I don't have to skip anything. Like, I want to be able to just sit and watch and not be able to move my body and let it play through like an episode. Like, we don't like skip stuff when we're watching something on Netflix, so that's how I wanted to do my playthroughs as well. And if I pick up a note, I'll leave it on there for like 15 seconds to 20 seconds so people don't have to get up and pause. So they have enough time to read everything on it, even if they're a slow reader. So there's not a lot of playthroughs on my channel because I don't have the best recording tools. I just have my PlayStation and I'm recording off of that. I don't have a gaming PC or anything, or game capture or anything like that. So it's not the best quality, so it's just videos I made for me that make me happy. And if other people want to enjoy them, that's great. That's why I uploaded them and made them public instead of privated and just for me. Because what if there's a small chance that someone can enjoy that? Because I know how frustrating it is to come across all these playthroughs where everyone survives the suicide mission in Mass Effect, or everyone plays cyberpunk, or they're nice to Johnny and trying to be his friend. So I made a playthrough where you hate him throughout the whole game until you finally decide to be his friend and you get the best outcome from his friendship, and it just makes that connection feel stronger when you go through, because it's canon that they butt heads. So I like that I made a playthrough where I intentionally butt heads with him, even more so with the choices they gave me. It was just really fun to play that way, because every other playthrough I've seen of Cyberpunk, they're trying to get on Johnny's good side. So I wanted to be different in that way. And with Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition playthrough, I'm so proud of it, because I did 3 different playthroughs with Mass Effect 3 and 2 different playthroughs with Mass Effect 2 and edited it all into one. And I did it that way because I wanted to have a certain type of armor from start to finish, and it's the armor with no boob armor. I wanted to have her wear that. So I had to play the second game all by myself first, and then I needed to record on the second play. And I wanted to get Legion as soon as possible. Like, I wanted and to have him join me on many missions while also saving the crew in time. So in that playthrough, it looks like you can have Legion and have enough time to save the crew, but you can't. Those are 2 different playthroughs. So it's not a playthrough where it's a walkthrough at all. So don't try to mimic what I did, because you won't be able to. It's edited from different playthroughs into the same one that looks like I did it all in the same playthrough. And then for Mass Effect 3, I did 3 playthroughs, because you get unique cutscenes if you speedrun the game, and you don't get that much war assets. And I wanted unique cutscenes that made the war feel more of a struggle than if you do the perfect playthrough and you get all the war assets. You get the type of cutscene with Hackett. It just seems like there wasn't that much to worry about. So this is the cutscene that I wanted.
Alliance fleet reporting. Turian fleet reporting. Asari fleets reporting.
Quarian fleets accounted for and ready.
All Geth ships accounted for. The Geth are ready for your command.
Geth fleet reporting. Breaking off. Preparing for descent.
It just makes the war look so much more intense. than the cutscene everyone always gets, because that's the easiest one to get, and this one is you have to intentionally do bad in the game to get this. So that was fun to see. And I also did everyone's loyalty missions in the second game, but I still had some of them die during the suicide mission because I wanted to make it seem like it was actually a hard mission. When everything goes well, it doesn't look that hard at all. So I love how I edited my playthrough to have losses and victories. It just makes Shepard feel more human. Like, I love that feeling. I love how she can have some losses, and I know everyone hates Kai Lang, but I love that he challenges Shepard, and in the third game makes her lose really huge and makes her feel so disappointed in herself. I love that Kai Lang does that. So I love the way I edited my playthrough to make Shepard feel more human than just another overpowered main character in a video game. So if you're interested and open to the idea, I'll link it. I love Shepard's interaction with characters who replace the ones that are killed in the first two games. Like, everyone hates Reeve, but his interactions with Shepard in the third game is so fun. Like, please give different outcomes a chance. Like, you've already seen the happiest playthroughs over and over again. Try a new one by watching mine. Like, my playthrough is not the happiest on purpose. So now I want to talk about my submission that was chosen to be in a magazine. The Bella Grace magazine, the Cozy Issue Volume 6. It comes out November 1st. But you can order it now. I had already ordered it a few months ago, pre-ordered it, and it's already here. And when they picked me, they gave me a free copy. So I got 2 copies already, and it's very exciting. My husband is excited with me. I'm not a writer. I blog sometimes, but I just do it for fun. I didn't think I would be picked. This is so cool. I know it's like so small for other people, but for me this is amazing. It's a magazine about getting into like the cozy mood and the quiet living and having relaxing hobbies that get you away from like online stresses. And it's a pretty thick book. It's like over 120 pages. And I bought 3 volumes of it, and after I read all 3, I started to think about what I would have liked to see more of in the magazine, because it does repeat itself with the same suggestions. And I just thought about like something new that would be cool if the magazine had more of these suggestions, and that's why I sent in a submission in the first place. I was just in the mood to write or to type, and I'm so glad I sent one in. So the magazine seemed like the tone of it seems like it's for more older women. But I was thinking about how my mom has never played video games in her life until 2020 when Animal Crossing came out. My brother helped her play, but now she plays without his help. And she has played every day since it came out. So I think it would be really cool to think about someone reading Volume 6 of the Cozy Issue and giving the games I listed a try and falling in love with gaming. Like, I listed chill, cozy games for beginners. But Animal Crossing wasn't one of them because I still feel like Animal Crossing is for experienced people, and the only reason my mom was able to play it was because she was being handheld by my brother. And I wanted to give suggestions for people who don't have someone to help them, and games that you don't need a handheld. Like, these games are very easy to get into. And I'll have a link to where you can buy the magazine if you want, and it comes out November 1st. I think there's also a digital version for each magazine, so if you don't want the physical one. But anyways, it's exciting and I wanted to share, and it's video game related. So thanks for listening.